Hi guys and welcome back to Denise's Beauty Corner. Today I am going to do my very first tutorial ever, and I'm going to do a tutorial on this look that you see me wearing today, and it's a full cover, full glam look. So it's a perfect look if you want to go to a party or if you just want to have something that is wearable but yet something. So I hope you guys like this video, and if you do, before you leave, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe also before you leave. Without further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial, right? So let's get this started. I am priming my face with the Too Faced Hangover Primer. I find that this primer is really moisturizing for my dry skin. So I'm just rubbing it in with my clean fingers all over my face. And I'm taking the Milk Blur Stick just where I usually get more pores. You see where I put it there. And I'm gonna use the Infallible foundation by L'Oreal today, and I'm putting it on and then I'm brushing it out with my foundation brush just roughly, because I'm gonna go in with a beauty blender as well. So after I'm going in with a damp beauty blender, and since I'm doing full cover, I'm gonna go in with the hourglass stick in the areas where I want more cover, and then I'm smudging it out with the brush and then going over it with the damp beauty blender. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the concealer, and I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape concealer here. So I'm smudging it out with a brush, and I'm using a smaller brush for this, and then going over it with the beauty blender once again. And the reason why I use the brush first and then the beauty blender is because I feel like if I just use the beauty blender, it takes away a lot of the coverage, and if I only use the brush, I don't get the moisture that I want. So then I'm spraying some fixing spray. I'm using Urban Decay All Nighter and going on top of the concealer and foundation, and that is just to add more moisture because once again I am really super dry. Then I'm taking my damp beauty blender into my Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm gonna set my under eye area. So first I go over with my fingers just to make sure I have no creases, because you don't want to set your creases. And for me, this way to set my concealer is the best way to not get any creases during the day. Then I'm gonna use the It Cosmetic by Pores just to set where I usually get pores. So I'm using that powder where I use the Milk Blur Stick, so in the areas where I usually have some pores. Then I'm gonna go over my face with the Hourglass, and I'm using the dim light, and I'm just grabbing a big fluffy brush for this. And the reason I'm not setting my whole face with the setting powder is because I am so dry. So I find when I'm just dusting the dim light powder in my face, I get way the tacky feeling from the foundation, but I don't get the dryness in my face that I can get when I'm using a setting powder in my whole face. Today I'm going to use the Kathleen Light by Morphe palette, and I'm going in with this very light shade just to set my whole eye area. And I'm going in with this color in my crease, and I am using a smaller rounded brush here, and I'm just adding it into my crease. And you see that I looked in the camera, that's because I wanted to see where my crease is actually when I'm looking forward, because you usually don't look down all the time. And then I'm going in with a slightly darker color and doing the same step here. I'm putting it a little bit lower this time, and then I'm just blending. So make sure to blend out the edges and make sure to blend upwards. Then I'm going in with this light color again, and I'm blending on top of the product that I put in my crease, and that is just to add some smoothness out to it. Then I'm going in with a smaller rounded brush, and I'm taking this like purpley color, and I'm using this brush just to add in the product, and I'm blending just a little bit. And then I'm going in with a bigger, fluffier brush without any product and just blending it. Picking up the purple color that is a little bit darker, once again on the small rounded brush, and I'm starting to carve out underneath my eyes. I like to do this step here instead of doing it in the end of the makeup, because I find that you can carve out the shape you want of your eyes when you're starting from the outer corner of your lower eyes. And then I'm just starting to softly blend it in to create the eye shape that I want. So I'm just adding small amount of product at a time and then blending
so I don't get too much product. And then I'm going in with a big fluffy brush without any product and just blending it into the other colors. Next I'm taking my MAC 242 and I'm picking up the darker shimmery color and I'm putting it from the middle and outwards on my lid. So I'm not going to put it on my whole lid and not in the inner corner area. So I'm adding product, then I go in and I blend without any product, and then I add some more product, and then I will blend it with a brush without any product, so I will get a smooth feeling. And I'm picking up the lighter shimmery shade, and once again on my MAC 242, and I'm adding some Fix Plus here just to get more intensity in the shadow. You can see the shimmers get more intense. So I am adding product here, and then I'm gonna blend it out a little bit. Always make sure that you blend everything so everything is going smooth together. Then I'm picking up the color we used in the crease and I'm going on underneath my eyes with that one. And then I'm using the Wet n Wild kohl liner in my waterline, and I'm using it in my upper and lower waterline. Adding on some lashes. For highlighter today I'm going to use the Ofra in Rodeo Drive, and this is my favorite highlighter when I want to have a really intense highlighter. So I'm putting it in my inner corner and underneath my brow bows here, as you can see. And I'm gonna use this ones on my cheeks as well, because I like that it's giving me a really intense look, which is very pretty when I'm doing like a full cover makeup look as I'm doing today. So now we're gonna finishing off the face. So I'm going in with the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil, and I'm gonna use that to carve out my cheekbones a little bit. And I'm not gonna do heavily contour and highlight today, but I always want to put something underneath my cheekbones to make some dimension to it. So I'm just putting the product and then I'm starting to blending it upwards so I don't have just a harsh line there. And then I like to take the product and work with it up in my hairline so it makes it looks a little more natural than just a harsh line on my cheek. And then I'm going underneath my jawline, and this is also to create a more sharp feeling. Then I'm going in with my favorite blush of all time, and it's the NARS Sin, and I'm taking it on a BH cosmetic brush, I think, and I'm adding it on top of where I put the contour, and I'm doing the same thing here. I'm blending it upwards a little bit to make it going more smooth upwards. Then I'm going in with a highlighter, and once again it's the Ofra Rodeo Drive. I'm using a fan brush here and I'm putting it on top of where I put the blush, and once again I'm blending it a little bit upwards because I find that it looks a little more natural. Putting a little bit on top of my nose and do the lips. And I'm using this lip liner from Essence, and I'm just lining my lips, and I overline just slightly a little bit so I'm not going crazy. And I'm using this liquid lipstick from Sephora, and that is from their own brand. Then I like to go in with a concealer just to carve out the shape that I want on my lips, because my lips is also very uneven, so I like to fix it a little bit so they look more even and that I get like the shape that I want. And this concealer also helps to highlight a little bit and make your lips look a little more full, so I like this step. Then I'm putting the highlighter on top of my lips a little bit, and that makes it pop a little bit more. Going over my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter Fixing Spray, just make sure to make it a little more dry. And then I'm going over it with the Milani Make It Last, and I find that this combination keeps the moisture and also keeps the makeup for longer. And then I'm just going over a little bit so to make sure I don't have any powderness going on. And I completely forgot to put mascara on my lower lash line, so I do that here, and this is the final look.